Okay, so today I have finally finished my Nixie tube clocks. I've only made two of them so far because these are both Christmas gifts. Unfortunately, I had this guy working, everything was fine, and then I put it in the case and I must have cut a wire or something because it killed the main chip and it's not working right now and I don't have enough time to fix it or replacement chips, so more on that later. However, this one is working perfectly, and that's great because I'm going to go ahead and give this one away tomorrow because tomorrow is Christmas. So I gotta go ahead and wrap it. And anyway, so all the tubes work. The RGB backlighting works. It keeps time. So I'm very happy with this. The case I think could have turned out a little bit better. You be the judge on that. So it's a steel case, and this is made out of sheet metal from a microwave, actually. So I'll go ahead and just quickly show you the case. And then, of course, the back, we have the button and a knob for setting the time. Unfortunately, I'm not done with the software, so I just preset the time on the chip before I put it in here, so it'll keep time even when it's unplugged because there's a backup battery, so you don't actually need to set the time. And at some point I will update the software and these will work fine. Of course, our power input, and really not much else to it. It's a pretty simple device from the outside anyway. So later on we'll go ahead and power this up and I'll show you the RGB backlighting and how it's displaying the time. And then of course we have all of these tubes are socketed, so you can see I came up with my own socket. The sockets could look a little bit better, and these are iron 14 tubes, so they're not usually socketed, and the RGB backlight is integrated into the socket as well. So I am quite proud of coming up with a socket like that, and they just fit in like that. And these sockets seem to be pretty reliable, a lot more so than I was originally expecting. I'll go ahead and show you the wooden one. So this is basswood, I believe is what it's called. I probably pronounced that wrong or something or other. And it's a very light wood, but of course I've stained it. If you're curious, this stain is gunstock something or other. And I got that from Lowe's. If for whatever reason you want to repeat this, and of course I've left bark to try to make this look as natural as possible. Got some bark on the side, and then we have the back. Now, I would have liked this to turn out a little bit better. I didn't put any bark on the back, obviously, because this is meant to go right up against a wall. We have a pretty healthy gap here for air. I intentionally left that, but I'm almost wondering, second thoughts, I don't even know if that's necessary, and probably should have just closed it up. But whatever the case may be, we have the same knob, a button, and a power jack, but this is all recessed, and there's a steel plate due to how thick the wood is. I didn't have to do that on the steel cased one. And then of course the bottom, you can kind of see the lightness of the wood. The wood's lighter than that, but I think it took the stain really well, and I'm very impressed with my own woodwork. It's very smooth. It came out very nice. I had to eyeball all of these 45-degree joins, so it's joined 45 degrees this way, then there's a 45-degree cut on the outside as well, which was actually really difficult to do with my jigsaw because it doesn't, I had to freehand all of it, so I think it came together real nice. I think the stain looks pretty good. The only thing I would say is I probably could have glued these a little bit nicer, but again, all these are socketed as well, and unfortunately I can't show you this working because it's not working right now. However, that'll be a later video where it does work. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy in. I have these just run on 12 volts DC, so you can see the RGB backlight, and unfortunately it's not going to come out very good in the camera because the camera doesn't seem to like looking at these tubes, but you can see it's 629 right now. And I have, of course, the sort of slot machine effect that you see done on a lot of these to prevent cathode poisoning. And then I have, it sort of fades in and out. You see it just did it there. Every second or so, it'll lighten up all the tubes again. Give it a moment. There it goes. And then it fades them all out. Again, just another measure to try to prevent cathode poisoning. It shouldn't be an issue, but since I'm giving these away as gifts, I'm not going to be able to service them again. most likely, you know, anything that I can possibly do to make these last as long as possible is good. Unfortunately, the tubes don't show up very well on the camera. They look a lot better with the backlighting in person, but, you know, 'tis life. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the lights, and I want to make one note about these clocks that I really like, or about Nixie tubes in general, is the fact that these are so visible. These tubes are only about the size of my thumb, but you can clearly see them from across the room, even when it's dark or it's light, and I think that that's just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off the lights and show you what it looks like. I cut off the lights and I had the camera across the room just to show you how clearly you can see the digits, even though they're all the way over there. That's probably a good 10, 20 feet, something like that from the camera. And so that's one of the reasons why I really like them. Plus, you know, a lot of people like Nixie tubes just because they look cool, that cool orange glow. You know, I think I could have probably done a better job, and I'll have to change the software because the digits don't always come up all the way, and this and that, and a bunch of little fiddly bits. But at some point, I will change that, and these will look better. And I am planning on making another one of these for myself that'll probably also have seconds. I don't know. That'll be a separate project, and in that project, I'll thoroughly tape it. But I've been working on these for literally the past week, constantly, all day, from breakfast to dinner. I mean, it's been pretty rough, and I have not been very happy with these because these took way too long to get done. I did them on Vero board, which has those long strips. If you ever done anything with electronics, you know, and it's real fiddly, and all the components are super tightly packed in. I'll have some pictures at the end of this video of the inside of this clock, and so you can see what it looks like. And of course, when I do the other video, I'll show you more about it. But it's just a pain to work with. You got to cut all those traces, and since I've got the components so tightly packed to actually fit in this form factor, yeah, and I should have done some more design changes I didn't think about before. It's just, there's so many things I could have done better, but I was under a lot of time constraint, and I really didn't want to copy someone's design. This is my design through and through. I didn't copy anyone's design anywhere. I'm not going to show the schematic right in this video. I'll talk about the schematic at another time. I used, just so you're wondering, this is not a multiplex display, so you shouldn't see any flicker at all in the camera. That was one of my concerns. You're going to see a little flicker from the digits turning on and off, but it's not the flicker from the multiplexing, because these are not multiplex displays. These are all shift registered outputs, which is actually, in hindsight, really not a good thing, because it took 4 times the amount of components that it would have taken if I didn't do that, and I'll probably multiplex mine. But, you know, I think these turned out really good, and I think they look half decent as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas.